He said, I was the youngest of three brothers. And in the first grade, my dad used to beat me. And he used to beat me because he liked beating me. He didn't need a reason to beat me. He just, for no reason, we'd be sitting at the kitchen table. He'd reach across the table and slap me in the face. He was an extraordinarily cruel man and used to beat me for no reason. But when I did something wrong or made a mistake, I used to get, generally when my dad beat me, he'd beat me in the living room or the kitchen, and I could just run away and go hide until he fell asleep and come back. But when I did something wrong or made a mistake, I used to get what my brothers and I called a bathroom beating. And a bathroom beating went like this. My father would take me, drag me into the bathroom, close the door behind us, lock the door, and then beat me until he got tired of beating me. And in a bathroom beating, you couldn't get away. You ran in the closet, he was there. You ran behind the toilet, he was there. You jumped in the shower, he was there. That was a bathroom beating when you did something wrong. He said, and in the first grade, I couldn't read. I just couldn't read. And I was so embarrassed that I couldn't read. And the way they used to teach reading in my school system when I was a kid is Mrs. Donovan, the reading specialist from the district, would come every other Thursday. And she'd take all the kids in the first grade who couldn't read and bring them to the front of the class and make them read out loud in front of the other kids. And he said, and that was so embarrassing and humiliating for me that every other Thursday before Mrs. Donovan arrived, I'd go into the boys' room just before she arrived and take my reading glasses and twist them until they broke, or break one of the lenses, or pop one of the lenses out. And then when Mrs. Donovan would come, I'd go up to her with the broken glasses and say, Mrs. Donovan, my glasses are broken, I can't read today. And I did that every other Thursday for a year with the full knowledge that when I got home, I was going to get a bathroom beating for it. When I showed my father the broken glasses, that I was going to get a beating. And the saddest part of that story is, I'll bet you anything, if you look at that child's file, somewhere Mrs. Donovan wrote, this kid is not motivated. I mean, you don't break your glasses every other Thursday for a year unless you're doing it on purpose. She must have known he was doing it on purpose and interpreted that the child was not motivated, which is so sad. That child was probably the most motivated child Mrs. Donovan will ever have. His motivation was to avoid the humiliation.